vagus nerve. I don't know if you know or if you've heard, but I was raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's a saying there, it says, what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas. Well, I guess true. Probably a place you maybe shouldn't go. But anyway, we're going to talk about the vagus nerve, spelled different, V-A-G-U-S. And what we say is that what happens in the vagus nerve doesn't stay in the vagus nerve. So without being a neurologist, without really understanding neurology, I think we would all kind of get it that nerves are transmitting information from here to there, point A to point B. So of course it doesn't stay in the vagus nerve. If something happens on this side of the nervous system and it's sending it that way, that's where it's going. It's not just staying there. So what happens in the vagus nerve does not stay in the vagus nerve. We're going to talk about the role of the vagus nerve as it relates to some very serious problems. As serious as even autism. Certainly as serious as ADHD or OCD, or even as serious as what I have, dyslexia, sorry. These are the things that a lot of us have. I've actually been tested for ADHD and OCD and even for dyslexia. I don't really have them. I'm not clinically to that point where they would label me as those, but I have the tendencies of all those like in spades, for my own opinion. So how did this happen? What's going on? Well, following this video, Dr. Tony Ebel from Illinois is going to explain in much more detail how the vagus nerve really affects these conditions. But here's the highlight. The vagus nerve is a sensory nerve. We call that afferent. That means the information coming from the world, either the external or the internal body, that stimulation, that information is coming through the vagus nerve into our brain, right through the brainstem. Because the vagus nerve is a cranial nerve. It doesn't go through the spine, it goes right to the brain. It is called the wanderer. Well, actually, vagus means wanderer in Latin. So this nerve is literally over a mile long in our body. It's kind of a big nerve. It's kind of everywhere. It is likely the most important nerve in our body because it not only has regulations that will help us avoid ADHD or certainly autism, but it even helps with simple things such as colic or indigestion or constipation or irritability or difficulty sleeping. These are all connected to the vagus nerve. It's kind of everywhere. You'll probably notice, or maybe you haven't, but it's kind of a lot. It's all over the place. The vagus nerve has been talked on the media, it's been talked on the internet a lot. So I want you to understand, I want to kind of bring it down to some very basics. It's a sensory nerve. It's picking up information from the environment and then telling the brain what's going on. If you can respect the fact that your body is made gloriously, you are really, really well made, you are a beautiful person, your body was made with like 97% perfect according to epigenetics. Only 3% of us have true genetic problems. So just look at yourself as like freaking wonderful. How would it know to do what it needs to do if the information coming in isn't accurate? In the computer industry, they call that garbage in, garbage out. So it's not super complicated. I want to make this like user-friendly. If your nervous system is not picking up the environment well, then the brain is going to process that information. And that's going to cause disconnection. That's going to cause dysfunction. That's going to cause disease. So these are conditions that we know we can help with. Through gentle, specific chiropractic adjustments, we can take pressure off the vagus nerve so that it reaches its potential. This office also uses, through the inside subluxation system, an HRV, which is a heart rate variability. This is also all over the media lately. It's kind of like the hot thing out there. It measures, also, not only measures, but it gives us a balance of your sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. So we really know how much stress or anxiety or healing and growth that we're in. It kind of gives us a grade on where we are, how well we are recovering. Even from simple things like exercise, they're using it for that even. You have a perfectly healthy person, they'll do an HRV before, an HRV after, and it kind of lets you know how well your body recovered from the external stress of physical exercise, because it is a stress. Now remember Jack LaLanne, you might not, but he's been around a while. He always said that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So keep in mind that we're supposed to have stress. No stress, no growth. We just want to have the appropriate amount of stress for the appropriate reason and then gain benefit from it. That is how we learn. But if our nervous system is not perceiving the stress accurately, it really doesn't know when to turn into a blessing. And it can get dysfunctional or disconnected and turn into a challenge. So watch the video that's attached to this one on the vagus nerve, Dr. Tony Ebel. Have a blessed day.